What's up, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Woodbury Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cott, and alongside of me this week, as always, my co-host, Jake Belts. We got Nashville discussion this week. Jake, what's up, my man?
Oh, yeah, man. Great race. I'm excited to talk about this one tonight.
Oh, man. I mean, concrete, man. I don't know what it is about concrete, but it's purely entertainment. That's what I can definitely come out of this past weekend with is pure entertainment. If you're listening to us live tonight on the Broken Woodbury Podcast Facebook page and YouTube page, feel free to chime in on our Blown Engine chat line, wide open for any discussion. We'll be ripping through multiple topics this evening. Something pops up, you want to make chat line, we'll read it right on air and hopefully engage with you. Unless I forget. Sorry about that. But Jake, while we got all of our fans that are listening, again, follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music at the Broken Woodbury Podcast, YouTube and Facebook at the Broken Woodbury Podcast as well. We go live once a week. Most of the time it's Wednesdays. Sometimes life gets in the way on Tuesdays and we may record Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if you miss our live stream, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, that's where our episodes will be posted. Feel free to continue smashing the follow button on those streaming platforms as well. So, a couple of show announcements as we head into, I guess, really kind of in the middle of the summer stretch at this point, right?
Yeah.
Dude, we are 10 days away from our Pocono tailgate.
I know.
10.
Yeah,
10 days from our 10 days from our Pocono tailgate, Broken Woodbury Podcast. We will be live from the racetrack up at Pocono, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It will be our fourth annual Broken Woodbury Podcast tailgate. By all means, if you're up at the track, come by, stop by, come crush a beer with us. We'd be more than happy to talk shop with you. Also, we have a live episode from the track, so feel free to be at our tailgate during the live episode. Maybe your voice will be on there. Pretty cool opportunities, just saying. Not saying you're going to be famous. Second time this season, we've been making this announcement as well. We will be live at Richmond on August 15th or 16th. Excuse me. We'll be going down to 15th, but August 16th, Saturday at Richmond International Broken Woodbury Podcast. We will be down there as well. So 2 opportunities to come see us. We had a skeleton crew down to Dover last month. That was a lot of fun, aka myself, and I got burnt. So I will definitely be wearing sunscreen, which I usually don't do. So. And also, finally, last but not least, again, for everyone tuning in, if you missed the announcement last week, the Broken Woodbury Podcast, we are officially a Full Throttle Media podcast. So, if Tyler, you're listening, again, thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to the relationship with you and continue making you proud as well. You took a shot on us. We'll definitely make it as professional and fun as possible. So, all right, Jake, first comment, Blown Engine chat line. We got Phil. He checks in. He goes, Wahoo for Nashville. Yeah. Ooh, Music City did not disappoint. I'll tell you that right there.
Did not, besides the delay, did not disappoint.
Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Um, Before we kick things off, let's take the green flag on our first segment tonight. We got sponsorship updates again, courtesy of jski.com. We read through them once a week to keep all of our fans up to date on what's going on in regards to sponsorships and what your favorite driver could be driving this week at the next track. Follow them on jski.com or by web, Facebook, or X. So first up on the board for us, Jake, Quaker State 400, Atlanta, or God, I always say Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's Echo Park, which I think is the dumbest thing in the entire world. Atlanta or Echo Park Motor Speedway officially announced that Chipper Jones will be named the Quaker State 400 Grand Marshal Baseball Hall of Famer. He's been pretty big within NASCAR. Last year, he was promoting the Bristol baseball game with the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds. He's been all over the place with NASCAR, so I love to see this with Chipper Jones. Big fan of him, even though I'm a Phillies fan. Absolutely crushed it. It crushed me as a kid, but whatever. Update number 2, Chase Elliott Foundation Design 9 to Drive officially, released their paint scheme for the Atlanta Night Race. Pretty cool paint scheme. I love what they do with this paint scheme, by the way. Every year they team up with Atlanta Children's Hospital and a kid designs a car for Chase to drive on the track this year. And it kind of brings tears to my eyes because a lot of these kids are fighting for their life in CHOP. I say CHOP, it's Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, excuse me. But Children's Hospital of Atlanta, these kids are fighting for their life, but they always have some awesome designs. And last year, Chase Elliott won the race in one of the designs, trying to repeat last year's performance in the design to the drive. So we'll post that picture up probably tomorrow on our Facebook page at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. But it's adorable, man. It's adorable. Update number 3. For all the F1 fans, which I don't understand why you watch that sport, but whatever. Always got to take a shot, dude. Always got to take a shot. Trackhouse Project 91 officially announced their driver for the San Diego Street Course. I know a lot of fans were are kind of hoping, fingers crossed, praying that Max Verstappen was going to be in the car. Not going to be Max Verstappen. Sorry, folks. It's going to be Kevin Magnussen, who will be driving the Project 91 car for Trackhouse Racing at the San Diego Street Course. And he will be sponsored by Qualcomm Technologies, which is a big technology company out in San Diego. They were the long-time sponsorship of the Charger Stadium when they were in San Diego. Yeah. So very familiar sponsorship if you're a big sports fan. Next update, Kyle Petty. I think a lot of fans know this. Every year, Kyle Petty does the charity ride across America, and we're officially in that time frame where Kyle Petty's doing that charity ride. Right now, it has raised a record $2.7 million. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, and it just continues getting more and more popular. But they are up at a record $2.7 million on this charity ride. So great for Kyle Petty. Yeah. Kyle Petty's a good dude. He really is. He's actually really good with the fans. If you ever get a chance to go to the track, he will take time out, talk to the fans, take pictures with the fans. Now you can't swarm him like he's a caged animal. So, but like at the same time, if you actually treat him with respect, he's a great dude. I met him down in Darlington a couple years ago. He's a good guy. Next update, we'll do 2 more. Excuse me. Next update: New York Racing signs 2-race deal with Fanatics Betting and Gaming. So gambling really is coming into NASCAR at this point. We have Hard Rock Casino in San Diego for a couple of the cars, and then New York Racing signed a 2-race deal with Fanatics Betting and Gaming. And then the final update, which will kind of lead us into tonight's topic of conversation with Nashville. The Nelson ratings came out for the night race at Nashville on Sunday. Prime Video averaged a 1.655 million viewers for Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Nashville Superspeedway. So, final Nelson ratings there. Again, all sponsorship updates and news updates courtesy at jski.com. Follow them on X, Facebook, and by web at www.jski.com. So, all right. That's pretty much that. Jake, before we get into the green flag on the Nashville conversation, Phil, check back in again on the Blown Ninja chat line. If you're listening to us again live on YouTube and Facebook, feel free. Blown Ninja chat line wide open for you. Want to hear some of your thoughts and opinions about the race in Nashville, or hey, maybe some of the sponsorship updates, or you just want to mess with us, that's fine too. Which we have a couple fans that do that.
Yes.
So Phil, he checked back in again. He said, "New short track package really ruined their brakes. I loved it down in Nashville." So, Jake, passing the mic off to you tonight. You're going to take the opening segment on Nashville Super Speedway. What were your thoughts on this week's race at Nashville?
I know when I talked to you, I mean, I was probably the best Nashville race I've seen. I couldn't even tell you since when. I mean, it just absolutely blew my mind. It was a phenomenal race. Unfortunately, because of the way I fell asleep, didn't really get to see a good bit of it. But the part that I saw was really good. I enjoyed it. Um, like Phil said, the brakes on Trackhouse cars was incredible to watch. Um, but the only thing I'm disappointed in is, I mean, can't blame NASCAR for the weather delay, but they still put the race on, which props to them. Happy they didn't just say, "Oh, we'll run it tomorrow." But the Nelson ratings kind of disappointed me, but I don't know if it had to do with the delay, it being on Prime, it being a Sunday night. But it's all around was a very, very fun race to watch.
Yeah. Nelson Reyes were a little bit disappointed this past week. And obviously last or 2 weeks ago at Charlotte, Amazon Prime had a big boost in numbers. Our good friend Trial of Life kind of may have credited that to what the reaction was going to be for what Kyle Busch and all that type of stuff, and kind of saw the numbers dip this week at Nashville. In regards to the race itself, 100% agree. I thought the racing was, I think, what all fans really look forward to it in a race, right? And you kind of heard Dale Jr. kind of say on the Prime broadcast, he's like, reminded himself of old Bristol. Chaos all over the track, but great racing to finish the end,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And that's why I really enjoyed what we watched this past weekend down in Nashville. Yeah, we got the chaos, right? You got the brake rotors on both those Trackhouse cars. A couple of other cars too. AJ Allmendinger was
yeah.
involved in a brake rotor issue. Couple wrecks. Was Austin Dillon intentionally spinning out Brad Keselowski in retaliation? We don't know, but um, all in all, I thought, and again, the ending to me was fantastic. It really was. That is probably the purest form of racing that you can
Yeah.
see at the end of a race, right? You had all three of those Gibbs cars. Yeah, Hamlin got out, but Bell and Briscoe were right there. I mean, it was really anybody's race, and take away what we saw from the leaders, and how they were racing up in the front. There was that battle for fifth, sixth, seventh, right,
Yeah.
between SVG, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott, and that went, and Ryan Blaney even for eighth. You had that battle going all the way to the line, and obviously they were racing so hard that Reddick and one of them spun. Reddick ended up getting taken out and ends up getting a hard hit at the end of the race. But all in all, I thought the racing itself was fantastic. And really credit the Amazon Prime again. Amazon
Oh
Prime
yeah.
is just legitimately blowing everybody out of water right now with their production. And it does suck because I do think that there is a portion of this fan base that does as much as they can to complain and cry about Amazon Prime. And it's like, guys, you're all fans of the sport. And you being stubborn is not helping the sport grow in regards to television.
Yeah.
Amazon, it's 2026, folks. Everybody in this country has Amazon Prime. Amazon is the number one supplier and outsourced company in the world. It is $15 a month to be an Amazon Prime member. And I guarantee you, half the people that are complaining probably have an Amazon Prime card and don't even realize you get Prime television with it.
Probably.
Probably.
Or they
Because
have
there's,
cable and they're paying $150 a month.
yeah, and that's pretty low for, that's a pretty low number. But like again, I mean, it's just like, damn, like these fans that just continuously complain about Amazon Prime, knock it off.
Yeah.
You are missing out on some of the greatest broadcasting, I think, in NASCAR of all four of the stations. I really do. I mean, if I had to rank them, it'd be Prime number one to me, NBC number two, TNT is a three, and Fox is four. While Fox did much better this year, they still had their clunkers at the end of the season. TNT is not bad because they had the Amazon Prime booth going over to cable television, but still, I'm not a fan of what TNT provides. It's
Yeah.
not. It leaves me wanting more, and it's like, okay, I just watched you guys on Prime, but then like, you go to TNT, and it's like maybe it's just cable television. I don't know. NBC, I think, has the probably to me one of the most professional broadcast booths,
Oh yeah.
but I think that I think Prime's booth is very fun. They are a fun booth. Steve Letarte, absolutely incredible with analytics. Incredible. I don't know how Larry McReynolds is America's crew chief because, quite frankly, I think it's Steve Letarte. Dale Jr., super knowledgeable of the sport, but he also has that southern drawl that attracts the old school fans with the newer fan base as well. And I think Adam Alexander is a very good play by play announcer. I really do. Now, last week I said I'm not a fan of him. It's just his voice, but I can't fault the guy. That's his voice. I mean, there's probably people that hate me because they hate my
Mhm.
voice.
Well, I mean, I also love Carl Edwards, Corey LaJoy. Like, I like listening. Like, dude, it's perfect pre, during, and post. I mean, post is probably my favorite. I love them guys are sitting there drinking a beer together, but
Mhm.
bullshitting with the winner. But yeah, I agree with the way you put them in standings for sure.
Yeah,
TNT's bland, but it has good people. I mean, it's like you said, it's prime people. TNT's just boring, I think.
yeah, and I'm surprised by that too because when I look at what TNT is, I'm like, okay, it's literally Prime. We shifted the Prime people over to the TNT side on cable television, but it just feels like it's such a rush product, right? I feel like Prime they have the pre-race, discussion panel. Mark Martin was on it this past week, which was great to see.
Yeah, awesome.
Um, Great to see Mark talking NASCAR. I love seeing that. And then even the post race, you have an hour post race. Now, granted, on Sunday night, I mean, the race ends, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Then you basically have the post race at 2 o'clock. The numbers probably dipped there 1000% because everyone probably wanted to see the end. It's like, all right, turn it off, all that type of stuff. One point that you said that I totally agree with you on: incredible race, incredible venue. It's taken on a fun character as a track, right? It's creating its own character, it's creating its own identity as a concrete track. The one thing that sucks is that we had the rain delay.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been a 7 p.m. start, whatever. It wasn't. The rain came. What happened? Green flag was like at 8:25, 8:30. Race went on all the way until as late as it did in the night. We cannot blame NASCAR for that.
No.
We cannot blame NASCAR for the rain. To be honest with you, we should be very thankful that they got the track ready to go so they could get the race started by like 8:25 Eastern time. So, all in all, I really when they first made the announcement about Nashville Super Speedway coming on the schedule, wasn't happy about it. I was like, "Oh, here we go. Here we go." But I think the drivers are starting to appreciate it. Like I said, it's starting to create its own identity. And it's in a fun date. It's in a fun date scheduled part of the season. It's right after
Mm-hmm.
the Coke 600. This was used to be Dover's first race for years. Was after the Coke 600. They just shifted it down to Nashville, so I gotta give them a lot of credit. They've done
Yeah.
a really good job with the track, especially after the announcement back in 2021. Very disappointed, but I can tell you right now, I was left satisfied watching that race.
Oh yeah.
Phil checked back in on the Blown Engine chat line. He goes, it was on Prime, so I think they could have moved the start to earlier rather than running at 7 p.m. Yeah, probably. I mean, again, you don't have cable television bullying you when to get this race started and
Mm-hmm.
when this race ended, so you're probably right. That's the one thing too, and one thing I was a little disappointed about, and we don't have that many Saturday night races this year. We have Richmond in August, and then we have Bristol. I'm like, can one of these race dates go to a Saturday night race with lights? Nashville would have been perfect on a Saturday
Mm-hmm.
night. That would have been a perfect track for a Saturday night race. Um, I know last year we had Atlanta on a Saturday night. Oh man, that was incredible.
It's awesome.
Atlanta under the lights Saturday night racing. Oh man, it couldn't get any better. And then, but they moved it to a Sunday night date, and I get it. NASCAR is trying to go after the viewership on Sunday nights and all that type of stuff, but sometimes you just gotta feed into the Saturday night. Saturday night on a short track or in Atlanta's case, a super speedway. Can't complain about that whatsoever. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I feel like Richmond always has a really good viewership because it is a Saturday night. Like, to be completely honest with you, like I enjoyed that race so much on Sunday, and I was trying my hardest to stay awake, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to go to work tomorrow. Like, I can't stay up until 1 in the morning. I just put and dude, Nashville has the talent to do it for a Saturday night. Like, I get it; it's
Oh, that
not
would.
close to downtown Nashville where like the party scene is, but you do that shit on a Saturday night. Start that race at 5 p.m. their time. You're done by 9. Everybody's gonna go right down to freaking downtown Nashville right after. Like, I
Oh,
just think it works all in all. You know what I mean?
that'd be incredible. Absolutely. Could you imagine like a Saturday night in Nashville? That would be cool. That'd be a ton of fun.
Watch a
Like
race
you
and then
said,
go down.
yeah,
Nashville's fun.
you go to a 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock start time. You get that race over by 9:30. Takes you an hour, 2 hours to get back from the track, depending on traffic.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
even
still
if
on.
you start at 3,
Yeah, I mean, you get prime time. I mean, you still get prime time at the bars on Broadway there. 11
yeah,
o'clock at night. The night's still young, man.
dude,
Night is
the
still
night's
young.
just starting.
Yeah, pretty much. Phil checked back in again. He goes, "It's Daytona race 2 on a Saturday." That is correct. I missed one. Yeah, Daytona, the Coke Zero 400 is a Saturday night, and that is the elimination race before the chase. So, all right. In regards to venue, we just talked about Nashville Super Speedway. What do you think of? I mean, within the drivers within itself, what do we come away coming out of Nashville this week? What do you think?
Um, I, the biggest takeaway that I took, and I get it, Toyota finished 1, 2, 3. You saw a lot of Chevy. You saw a lot of, I think, improvement when it came from Chevy as a manufacturer. Um, I know a lot of guys that ride Chevys are good at concrete tracks, so I mean, I wasn't really too like, wow, this is out of the ordinary. But I took away that Chevys were really good, and the other thing that impressed the shit out of me, Matt, is SVG. Like, I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep saying it every week.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, the Chevrolets definitely had in my opinion, the Chevrolets definitely had more of an impressive showing this past week. Now, granted, some of them did have trouble. I mean, we saw it with the two Trackhouse cars, right? Of
Hmm.
Chastain. Damn, Chastain just cannot get out of his way, man. He just cannot get out of his way. And then Zillage clearly cannot get out of his own way either. Both Trackhouse of Chastain and Zillage ended up finishing 37th, 38th. Both blew rotors in this race. Really disappointed because this is like one of Trackhouse's playgrounds. They love this track. They want this to be their home track because eventually Justin Marks wants to take their shop out to the Nashville market. Um, but yeah, I mean, the Chevrolets, in my opinion, were pretty impressive. Look, I mean, let's take a look at the final breakdown, the final scoreboard, courtesy of NASCAR.com before I get into that next point. Denny Hamlin ended up winning this race. He followed up by Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Shane Van Gisbergen. Those are your top 5 credited. Sixth was Tyler Reddick. Seventh was Chase Elliott. Eighth was Ryan Blaney. Zane Smith was ninth, and Carson Hocevar was 10th. Stage 1 winner was AJ Allmendinger on a strategy. Kyle Larson finished second. Blaney finished third. Elliott finished fourth. Reddick finished fifth. Bubba finished sixth. William Byron finished seventh. Chase Briscoe finished eighth. Riley Herbst finished ninth. And Corey Heim finished 10th. Stage 2 winner was Daniel Suarez, mi amigo, who's on a pretty impressive run lately.
Hmm.
Alex Bowman finished second in stage 2. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished third. Austin Cindric finished fourth. Hamlin finished fifth. Michael McDowell finished sixth. William Byron finished seventh. Christopher Bell finished eighth. Chase Briscoe finished ninth. And Brad Keselowski finished 10th. So your final laps led in this race. Hamlin led twice for 57 laps. Christopher Bell led 29 laps. Briscoe led for 14. Shane Van Gisbergen led 12. Then you had Tyler Reddick, who led 42. Chase Elliott led 3. 46 laps led by Ryan Blaney. You had 18 led by Zane Smith. Eric Jones led 3. You had Ty Dillon and Ty Gibbs both led 1 lap. Same with Riley Herbst. Daniel Suarez led 10. Kyle Larson led 56, and AJ Allmendinger led 7 laps. So that's your final breakdown scoreboard from the Cracker Barrel 400 from Nashville Super Speedway, again, courtesy of NASCAR.com. So going back to what I was going to say before we got to the final scoreboard. I totally agree with you. I think that Chevrolet had a much more impressive showing, in my opinion,
Hmm.
this week at Nashville than in previous weeks. Now, again, a lot of your drivers in the Chevrolet camp are pretty good on concrete. Larson, again, he led 56 laps. Weird situation at the end of the race. Ended up blowing a tire. Prime, and I get it, Prime really wanted to focus in on the battle for the lead, but then like as they're coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the lead, you see smoke going all over the place. You're like, what in the world just happened? And then you
Hmm.
learn that Kyle Larson blew a tire. Um, but in regards to that, I mean, credit to where credit's due. I mean, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished fourth in this race. Shane Van Gisbergen finished fifth. And going back to SVG, there's a lot of fans in this sport that hate SVG because they think he's a road course runner. He's never going to improve on the ovals, all that type of stuff. Well, to be honest with you, he's been getting much better on the ovals. And the last couple of weeks, we ran on oval tracks. Now, granted, rain out, qualifying, it helps him in the start position with the calculation and the formula.
Hmm.
But we can see when the 97 gets in the front and he has the clean air, Shane Van Gisbergen can race with the big boys.
Oh yeah, I know. I texted you and I was like, God damn, look at SVG holding off probably one of the best concrete racers in NASCAR, Larson. Like, I mean, he was making him earn that spot for a good handful of laps.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I mean, whenever you felt like Larson was getting the run, I mean, SVG was able to take the run away
Hmm.
and was able to continue on with the lead. So, I mean, got to give a lot of credit to SVG on this. And he has been progressively getting better on ovals. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do moving forward. Because right now, I mean, he's down near that cut line, man, and continue progressing on these ovals. He might be a chase driver in year
Could
two.
be.
But outside that, with the other Chevrolets, I mean, Chase Elliott finished seventh. I mean, Chase Elliott started this race in 29th. And granted, strategy and luck kind of played in his favor, right? I mean, they did the two-tire strategy at the end of stage one, got him stage points, came down pit road, and then obviously him and Blaney stayed out. They ended up catching the caution at the right time. They came down pit road, and then that basically put Elliott back into contention for the race win. Um, but I mean, Hocevar finished 10th. I mean, yeah, the Chevrolets actually looked really good this past week. And I know, like I said, we talked about Larson blowing a tire in this race, finished 23rd. But in reality, I mean, he led 56 of those laps, and first laps led since his 2021 victory. But not just that. I mean, he looked like Kyle Larson, the old Kyle Larson, a little bit.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, we got the five back kind of going forward. Here we go.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, this is a stepping stone for that team. I mean, they're going into Michigan, which he could do. I think he can win. So we'll see. Maybe this was the week that he just needed to have the out front back to what he usually is known to be doing.
Well, as we said last week with a couple of the drivers coming out of the Coke 600, right? You just need to hit singles.
Hmm.
You just need to hit singles sometimes. And that's what some of these drivers need. Just get a good finish and then move on. Get the momentum rolling in your favor because, again, the whole playoff system has completely changed. We are now in the original or in the old chase format. Points matter. Points matter. You're not going to get in on winning in. And I feel like a lot of these drivers are still trying to readjust to, okay, I can have a couple bad weeks, but as long as I put the car in victory lane, I'm going to get into the playoffs. Doesn't exist anymore. So these drivers need to relearn how to get a good finish, let the momentum roll, get the stage points, continue progressing forward. And that's why I feel like some of these drivers did this past week. Um, the one driver I wanted to say is AJ Allmendinger. And we had Phil who checked in on the one end chat line. He said, I was shocked. Let me share the comment. He goes, I was shocked Allmendinger was very fast until the brakes failed. Yeah, I mean, AJ, I mean, listen, he was a fast car. He had a good strategy. Unfortunately, the brakes ended up failing him, where he ended up wrecking out in this race and he finished 35th. But AJ Allmendinger collected a stage win this past weekend at Nashville.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that's going to help his case to get into the chase? Probably not, because I think colleague racing at this point is a lame duck. They're just waiting for Dodge to come up into the Cup Series to basically give them OEM support no matter what. They're just a lame duck for
Exactly.
Chevrolet. But at the same time, like even in a lame duck or lame duck manufactured team, like you still show up to the track, have speed, and on top of it, you win a stage. Pretty impressive by AJ
Yep.
Allmendinger. But the one driver I definitely want to discuss here tonight is Denny Hamlin. And we could always talk about Denny Hamlin
Oh,
every
yeah.
single week, right? Between the wins, between the finishes, between laps led, between almost winning, almost coming close, yada yada yada. Denny Hamlin, what he did on Sunday night should not be taken for granted. Yes, he started on the pole, but to start the race, that jump on the restart was atrocious.
Bad. Like
Bad.
I used to watch that. I'm like, wait, that's Denny Hamlin? You sure he's
Yeah.
in that car?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened. I didn't listen to Action Detrimental this week because I really wanted to hear what he had to say. I mean, it literally he jumped. I mean, that jump was so bad. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a car jump that bad on a restart. A lot of
Dude,
fans could sit there.
I sat there. I'm like, holy fuck! Like a place that Hamlin's dominated at, and his night's over before it even started. And then
I
I
know.
sat back and I'm like, oh, well, we are talking about Danny Hamlin, so his luck is going to come in his favor at some point tonight, and he's going to be right back up there.
Well, I mean, and the Chris Buescher caution kind of saved Denny Hamlin on that. And it's funny because as I just said that, I looked at the one end of the chat line. Phil checked in again. He said the Buescher caution saved Hamlin. Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, it really did. I mean, listen, sometimes you need lady luck. I mean, to win these races and all that type of stuff. And when you have a bad start to a night, I mean, you're working from the behind the eight ball. I mean, some things have to play in your favor. The one thing with Hamlin, though, again, I mean, ends up jumping the restart, and I think the crowd, I mean, every NASCAR fan and even the booth was like, "Wow, Denny got off." Denny got
Yeah.
off to a tremendous start, and then we find out that the caution was or the restart was under review, and they realized that he jumped the restart. So what did he have to do? A pass through penalty, and he just you thought his night was over. Because with the way that this next gen car kind of drives, you're like, okay, he may climb himself back up into the low top 10, maybe top 15, somewhere around there. I mean, again, cautions, all that type of stuff helped him out, and it was good for the 11 team. But yeah, I mean, once he got into the clean air, you knew that he was going to be a big threat and a big contender.
Oh man,
And
and look when he jumped the restart. Like I mean, I always say Denny Hamlin is a crybaby, but he was crying. Like, dude, you just started a whole white line before you even got to where you're supposed to go.
mm-hmm.
This ain't the first time you raced Nashville, dude. Like you messed up, and that's just like if you watch it, the white line's here, and the fucking starts here, and he's starting here, and he's like gone, and everybody's just still coasting. Like, where the heck is this guy going?
Yeah, it was remarkable. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a mental breakdown. I mean, these drivers, again, sometimes they just, it happens. But I mean, again, but ends up going down through the pass through penalty, as we just mentioned. Comes through the field, ends up getting he was the beneficiary of the Buescher caution, and that pretty much helped him put him back into play. And once he got into the front, we all knew who Denny Hamlin was. I mean, looking at his stats before we came into Nashville, Denny Hamlin had the highest average finish of all active drivers at Nashville going into this race. Denny Hamlin never won at Nashville Superspeedway, so you knew the time was going to come. He puts the car up in the front all the time at this track. Obviously, this week it was just perfect luck, perfect storm, and overcame adversity and got to the checker flag.
Yep.
So, Hamlin, with that being said, Hamlin ends up winning race number 2 of the season for himself. First one was at Las Vegas. But the one thing that I want to take note, Jake, remember how we were all talking about how great Tyler Reddick was having of a season, which, again, tremendous start to the season, no doubt about it. He's still in the points lead. I mean, he's, has a comfortable lead in margin above Denny Hamlin, but Denny Hamlin has now officially cut that lead down to 97 points behind.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and again, I know Reddick ended up wrecking out in this race, or didn't wreck out. I mean, he crossed the start finish line, ended up getting spun, went right into the fence. Obviously, didn't cost himself any positions, but Denny Hamlin is now officially 97 points behind Tyler Reddick in second place. So, look, I mean, We always talk about Denny and Denny. Is this going to be Denny's year and all that type of stuff? Look, this format may help him out much better to win that first championship. Denny Hamlin is really hot right now, and we go
Yes.
to a couple races of his that are some of his favorites. AKA, we go to Pocono in 2 weeks, where he is the most winning driver at that track. And then last year, he won the race at Michigan. Granted, fuel mileage and all that type of stuff. And if you place the same strategy out, does it work? I don't know. But Denny Hamlin right now, his stats in 2026, according to NASCAR.com, he's got 2 wins, 9 top 10s, 7 top 5s. His average finish right now is 8.7. 8.7. He has 756 laps led. If there's any driver that I feel like can roll through the summer stretch and continue collecting wins and catch Tyler Reddick, and to be honest with you, may get Reddick by the end of the regular season, it's the driver of the 11.
Mm.
It's Denny Hamlin. And it would be perfect. I would be really happy if he won the championship this year. I really would. It would take all those comments out of the picture of, oh, he never won a championship, yada, yada, yada. I mean, if he won the championship this year, it would be immaculate. The
I can't be upset about it if he does.
Dude lost the championship last year at Phoenix. Heartbreak off of a caution. Then lost his father in that house fire this offseason. And Jake, we talked about Denny Hamlin going into Daytona. We talked about him. What Denny Hamlin are we going to see? It may take a while for Denny to get going, but he's going to get there. I would say this. I would say probably the first 2 to 3 weeks he was a little off. I mean, he got a top 10 at Coda, but then ever since Coda, boom, it's been Denny Hamlin. It's been all business.
I think he had a small little hiccup, but I think he kind of left off I think he kind of just picked up where he left off last year.
I mean, like I said, 31st at Daytona, he was in one of the racks. Atlanta, he finished 13th. He got spun out in Atlanta. Finished 10th at Coda, which he picked up his first top 10. You're looking at it, he's climbing the standings. Okay, Denny Hamlin's going to get there. 5th at Phoenix, then he won at Vegas. Then 11th at Darlington, which was a little off. But then he finished 2nd at Martinsville, 9th at Bristol. And let's call it as is. Martinsville, he finished 2nd and pretty much totally dominated that race.
Yeah.
Completely dominated that race. Chase Elliott had a better strategy. 9th at Bristol, 4th at Kansas, 15th at Talladega, 2nd at Texas. Again, couldn't get past Chase Elliott. 16th at the Glen, 3rd at Charlotte, 1st at Nashville. Take the road courses out. Guess what? Hamlin is really killing the competition right now. Absolutely killing them.
Yeah.
And it's a surprise to me that he's only got 2 wins so far on this season. He should probably have more.
Yeah, that is weird to see. Now that I'm here looking, yeah, it's crazy. He only has 2.
So I got a question for the audience tonight. I got a question for you. Where have the Fords been?
I think there's only one. And honestly, the last week and this week, I got to give it to Zane Smith. I mean, him and Ryan Blaney for the past 2 weeks were really the only two. I would say, but it's just Ryan Blaney. I mean, I'm very disappointed in RFK Racing this year, to be honest with you. No, I shouldn't say disappointed. I just my standards for them were higher.
They were
after
really,
what
really
happened
good.
last year.
They were really, really good until we got to Watkins Glen.
Yes.
And then when we got to Watkins Glen, they started fading off into the sunset a little bit. I'm not totally out on RFK right now. I'm not, but another bad week, a really bad week from RFK. Buescher finished 29th, was involved in a wreck. Brad Keselowski ended up getting spun out. He was involved in a wreck with Austin Dillon. We'll talk about that in a second. And then Ryan Preece had temperature issues in the car.
Yeah.
Finished 36th in this race. I mean, RFK completely dropped the ball again. And you're just sitting there going, it's like, yeah, I mean, outside Ryan Blaney, who's been super consistent with Ford, I'm looking at the standings courtesy of NASCAR.com. Blaney sits third in the points, and then your next Ford is Buescher in 8th. And then after Buescher, it's Brad in 13th.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of them in 16th, 17th, and 18th between Cindric, Preece, and Logano, and then you got Zane Smith in 20th. So a lot of the Fords are at the bottom end above the cut line in chase. But this is, I mean, this is starting to become a little bit of a concern with me with Ford and where they've been as an organization.
No, yeah.
I mean, Blaney's got the win at Phoenix earlier this year, but like I said, I mean, none of them. I mean, Blaney at times looks like he can win races, but there's other times that he even looks lost.
Yep.
And when I mean lost, not a top 5 car. It looks like a bottom top 10, maybe a top 15 car. I'm starting to, and we've been talking about Chevrolet to start the season off because Toyotas have just been absolute crushing the field.
Yep.
And we
Yeah.
talked about Chevrolet with the aerodynamic issues and all that type of stuff, but like, I mean, the Chevrolets have been consistent at least.
Yeah.
Ford has completely gotten one driver, and then the rest of them have been like average to mediocre at best, or mediocre and average, same word. Average to like bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Like, there's not a lot of Fords, but still, like, I would expect RFK for how they kind of ended the season last year to have a win by now.
Yeah, I mean, I still am high on RFK. I do think that RFK gets a win in. I think they get multiple cars in victory lane in 2026. Excuse me. But at the same time, like this weekend coming up could be a big weekend for Ford. They usually run very well at Michigan. But with the way that everyone has been in the field that drives a Ford, I mean, it's been a disappointment. And I look at Penske, who is the top tier team of Ford.
Yeah.
And yes, you have the best Ford driver in the stable. That's Ryan Blaney. Perfect. But Joey Logano, where is the 3-time champion? Last week we talked about, hey, he had a good finish. Maybe it's just that single. Maybe it's just that momentum to get him going forward. And he finished 14th this week.
He wasn't
Logano
really a factor this week either.
wasn't even a factor. I mean, we really didn't even talk. I mean, none of them talked about Joey Logano. And then it's like I said, the 3 RFK cars completely wrecked out of this race or had a mechanical issue. And I mean, Brad is now sinking in the points. Going into Watkins Glen, Brad was a top 8 driver in the points. He's down to 13th.
Yeah.
This is not good. I mean, RFK with the high expectation, and like let's also call it as is. RFK ended up winning the Clash, and I know it's a non-points race, but like Priest ended up winning the Clash back in February.
Yep.
So you're probably thinking, okay, their short track package is finally picking up and heating up and all that type of stuff, and it's like, okay, where's Priest been? I mean, the Front Row Motorsports cars. I mean, if Zane Smith's a hell of a driver. I just think he's in the wrong organization. I mean,
Yeah.
Gilliland is the same thing. Gilliland, I like Gilliland as a driver. I just don't think he's in a good organization. I don't think Front Row's a good. They are a C-level organization.
Mhm.
That's what Front Row Motorsports is. They are C-level that will never get above a B level organization. To me, Front Row Motorsports is legitimately the colleague racing for Ford.
Yeah.
But then then I look at the other Fords down at the bottom of the stands. You got Gregson in 29th. He's been a non-factor all season long. And honestly, he might be out of that ride next year. And then I look at Josh Berry, who was a race winner in 2025 with Wood Brothers. He sits 31st in the points.
That's nuts.
This is Ford has absolutely been non-existent all throughout 2026. And it's finally time to put the light over that, shadow, because they need to get this shit together in order to not just win races, but to collect data and information to try to at least put Blaney into title contention.
Yep.
That's the scary part. Like the Toyotas, I just feel like the JGR and the 23XI Toyotas, obviously to me, I feel like they work so well together with data exchanges and all that type of stuff. And like Chevrolet is kind of the same way. You got Hendrick, and Hendrick kind of feeds the rest of them, and then Hendrick feeds Spire, and then obviously Richard Childress, RCR, and while RCR is not great, like Trackhouse sometimes is good. They feed the other teams within the organization. But Ford, it's like they all work separately.
Yeah.
They don't share data. They don't work together at this point. And when we looked at it on their super speedways, I mean, they were absolutely atrocious on the synchronized pit stops, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think teammates work together at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is Ryan Blaney, and that's it.
Yeah, that is who it is.
Phil checked in on the Blend End chat line. Speaking of Ford, he goes, "I'm wondering if Logano will be the 16th place driver at the end of the regular season." I mean That's a dogfight. That's a total dogfight if down at 16 right now. I mean, Logano sits 18th in the points. He's at 297. He sits nearly about 9 or not 9, excuse me. He sits 7 points behind Priest. And he sits 9 points behind Cindric, who's Cindric's 16th in the points right now. I mean, for the 3-time champ, I mean, where are you? I got no. I mean, listen. Let's call it as this. I have no faith in Joey Logano winning a race going in the regular season. I got no faith. I mean, maybe a super speedway, maybe, but you're playing with Russian roulette trying to win one of those races.
Yeah, I don't see him winning.
I don't see him getting a win either. I mean, he's on a talk about another guy who's on a massive winless streak. I know the Larson winless streak has been discussed a lot, but Logano hasn't won since Texas 2025.
Yeah, which is huge.
That's a long win.
And unheard of for him as well, just like it's unheard of for Larson to go this long. It's weird.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Ford, yeah. I mean, we have Ford's got some issues right now, and it's, I don't know if it gets better anytime soon. I just don't. The saving grace for Ford and every one of those drivers that's below the cut or right around the cut line is luckily the rest of the field has been so mid, has been so average that while they have an uphill battle, it's not as hard as what people think.
Yeah, no.
Again, if you're a Logano fan, you're sitting 18th in the points. Your teammate Austin Cindric 16th. You're only 9 points behind them. And then realistically, Bubba sits at 338 or 15th with 338 points. Like, yeah, that's a little bit more of an uphill battle. But once you get close to like Bubba Wallace, I mean, Briscoe's at 343, Wallace at 338, Brad's at 347, Shane Van Gisbergen's at 348, and William Byron's at 352. So you get yourself in that middle ground, you start ripping off some top 5s, top 10s, collecting stage points, and a win, could put yourself right back in the mix of things.
Could be. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look how many points these races are paying out. I mean, you win a race and you can end the day with you can end the day with 70-some points.
Yeah. I completely agree with you on that. Speaking of underachieving teams, we just talked about Ford. How about Trackhouse Racing? I mean, we were going. Let's start off with the positives with Trackhouse Racing. Shane Van Gisbergen. We talked about it a little bit earlier in this show. He is progressing better on the ovals, and right now he is the best car in Trackhouse Racing.
Mm-hmm.
He is at the moment. But let's talk about the other two, Ross Chastain and Connor Zilisch. Let's start off with Ross. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, again, another track that he's good at. I don't know what's going on. I feel like it's a team thing because here's the thing. I know you said we were talking about the brake rotors, but 2 cars, Connor Zilisch blew a rotor. Mind you, there was a caution before that, so his rotors cooled down. He blew a rotor. His rotor exploded. I think it was 10 laps later, Ross Chastain's exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was talking to my dad about it. I'm like, I wonder if it's like looked at, like faulty parts that they bought. Was it a car problem? Like, I don't think really. I don't really know if I can point to a driver issue, considering the fact that Ross is usually pretty good here.
Very good.
And I don't know. Like I'm so, and I know you're a massive fan of Ross Chastain. Like it's just, it's like I sit there and look at Ross Chastain, and I sit there and I think of the same thing with Kyle Larson. Like, where the fuck have you been? And or Joey Logano. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I feel like Chastain's more Logano.
I mean, I know Larson has thrown some light out there. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, but Logano and Ross, I don't even see a speck of light.
No, listen, if you're a Chastain fan, and I like Ross Chastain, I enjoy Ross Chastain a lot in the sport, but if you're a Chastain fan, I mean, there's no light at the end of this tunnel right now. Oh. Chastain only has 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 this whole entire season. 1 top 5, 1 top 10. Or 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, excuse me. Atlanta, he finished 3rd, and Talladega finished 7th. Chastain has not finished above 25th since Talladega.
Which is like unheard of from him.
And honestly, over the last 6 races, right? Over the last 6 races, with that Talladega 7th place finish, Chastain, that you put Kansas in that mix, Chastain still has not finished above 25th in the rest of 5 of those 6 races. I mean, Trackhouse Racing at one point in this next gen car, we were always talking about how great they were on the 1.5s. He won the Coca-Cola 600 last year, folks, on a 1.5. Kansas, 1.5. He's won there, very good. Vegas, same thing. Leads a bunch of laps. Finished 17th at Vegas. What we're seeing from Trackhouse Racing, and primarily Ross Chastain and Connor Zillage, is beyond a head scratcher. Nashville is a very good track and a very, very welcoming track to Ross Chastain. And he cannot, and he blows a brake record. And the sad part is that Chastain started really low. And I mean, he started this race in what? 35th, because he had issues at Charlotte.
Yeah.
And he was climbing the field just like Chase Elliott. And then all of a sudden the brake rotor ends up happening. This has been a massive failure for Trackhouse Racing in 2026. Right now, Chastain, according to NASCAR.com, he's got a 22.35 average finish. He's led 59 laps. Okay, but he's got 2 DNFs, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. That is it. That is the Chastain stats in 2020. That is the Chastain stats in 2026. Right now, he currently sits 26 in the points. Let's look at his team. Let's look at his teammate, Connor Zillage, another DNF. Now, in regards to Zillage, I'll give him a little bit more grace just because of the fact that he's a rookie. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
But here, Matt, I don't want to cut you off. I'm kind of getting away from this, giving him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't shown anything all fucking year. So it's very hard for me to continue to be like, oh, yeah, he's a rookie. Another rookie mistake.
I mean, he completely looks lost.
I mean, he doesn't even look like he belongs here. How many times did he come in last place this year?
I'm looking that up right now as we're speaking. In regards to Zillage, I mean, not just does he look lost, I mean, there is nothing to show for it. And there was analysts and friends of ours that chose Zillage to win like 4 races this year. Zillage has not gotten a top 10. No. Has not had a top 10 in 14 races. Zillage has only gotten what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Zillage has only finished 4 races 20th or better. Or excuse me, 25th or above 25th, excuse me. 14th at Coda, 18th at Darlington, 16th at Texas, and 20th at the Glen. Those were his best finishes this year. The rest of them have been 25th or worse.
Yeah. I just and okay, you got to give a little leeway. I mean, yes, rookie. I get it, but you just dominated the O'Reilly series last year. No one can even fucking touch you, and you come here and look like you just fucking lay down on the bed and just said like,
Zillage's average finish right now is 27.3.
That's horrible.
Connor, not just as horrible. Here's another one that's scary for you and a scary stat for our audience tonight. Zillage is only 30 points ahead of Cody Ware in the points. Cody Ware in a Rick Ware racing car is only 30 points behind Connor Zillage in the points. That is it. That's how bad of a season Connor Zillage has had. There's going to be YouTube videos. There's going to be stuff talking all about how bad of a rookie season Connor Zillage has ever had.
Yeah.
And this guy came into NASCAR and basically was given the keys by a bunch of people and a bunch of analysts and a bunch of experts and said, this guy's going to win a shit ton of races because look what he did in the O'Reilly series. He comes up here and he's completely dive bombing the season. And I agree. And I will say this. I agree with you. I gave him the benefit of doubt a lot. And we're 14 races into this season. 14 races into his rookie season. And I'm like, okay, you know what? He's still a rookie. He's still learning all that type of stuff. What is he learning?
Yeah.
What is he learning? Going back to the results. 38th at Nashville. 39th at Charlotte. Now, some of them are mechanical, not really his mistake. I mean, but the Glen was a mistake on him.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. They're going to sit there and be like, well, you finished 20. That was a total mistake on Connor Zilic, where he finished 20th at the Glen.
Yep.
16th at Texas is a good finish. I will give him that. 16th at Texas is a good finish. Talladega gets involved in a wreck, but the rest of it, there's a lot of Connor Zilic mistakes that are going on just as much as the mechanical failures.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of fans are going to give Connor Zilic the benefit of the doubt, and the reason why is because Ross Chastain is also struggling.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing, too, is I want to go back to Phil's comment on the Blown Edge chat line. He goes, coming back from Sunday night, I love how SVG's team said, don't worry about your brakes because we use a different brake pad. Like, they are boycotting the Chastain and Zilic setup. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's starting to look like. Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. Who gets the last laugh on this whole situation? Daniel Suarez.
Our amigo.
Mi amigo, Daniel Suarez, gets the last laugh. I mean, he won a race.
He's in victory lane, has had a very fast car.
And he's 10th in the points right now.
Yes. Oh, dude, he's sitting at home laughing. I don't know, man. I mean, the whole brake rotor thing has me really different brake pad, whatever you want to say. 10 laps removed from one another. Same thing. I don't know.
It's starting to feel like it's really sad to say because when Trackhouse first came into the sport and they were doing what they did, I loved it. I ate it up. I was like, this team is for real. They're fun. They're young. They're energetic, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Trackhouse Racing hit a pinnacle and they said, we're not changing anything.
Yeah.
We've won races doing what we've done at Trackhouse Racing. This is what we're going to continue doing and all that type of stuff. And I honestly think it's affected the drivers at this point.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Dave checked in the Blown Engine chat line. Thanks, Dave, for tuning in tonight. Toyota's beyond dominant. Besides the 11, 45, 20, 54, who do you got to win it all right now? 12, 9, 5, maybe if those teams figure it out. But right now, it's all Toyota. Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, Reddick clearly is 97 points above Denny Hamlin in the points. I really think that Hamlin can get the hot hand in the summer. I really think that Hamlin can get the hot hand and overtake Reddick and win the regular season championship. I really do. But yeah, I mean, listen, for how much Christopher Bell has been racing good the last 2 weeks, Bell loves to make mistakes too.
Yes.
Well, I would love to see the 20 make it into victory lane because I'm a big C-Bell type of guy. Christopher Bell makes mistakes and shoots himself in the foot. So while I can't put the 20 in that category yet, I mean, Ty Gibbs has looked very good this season as well. Ty Gibbs has looked very good. I don't know if he's a title contender, but he's looked good. I mean, if you had to ask me who my title contenders are at this point, I would say it's Hamlin. I would say it's Hamlin, Reddick, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney. That is it. Because I think the rest of the field is either, in Gibbs' case, too inexperienced. And while the rest of the field, while they have hot weeks, they also have bad weeks. Like a couple weeks ago, right, Jake? We have a TikTok out there. RFK Racing, the Grinders. Couldn't wait to talk about RFK Racing.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks have been nothing but disastrous. They have not been the Grinders. So, but that's been the 2026 season in a nutshell, which has been very interesting in my opinion. It's been very interesting. You got the top, I would say the top 4 to 5 guys in the points have been the ones week in, week out, race winning cars or top 10 speed cars that continue putting those cars in the top 10.
Yeah.
The rest of the field, though, in my personal opinion, has been all roller coasters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been actually kind of an entertaining season in that regard.
It's been very entertaining.
Very entertaining because it's like, okay, now we're watching the 20 get hot, right? You know, the last couple of weeks. Now it's Charlotte, Nashville. We're seeing Christopher Bell get hot. Well, when's Bell going to start sliding off? Because you know that's going to happen soon.
Oh, it will.
You know, the RFK cars 3 weeks ago, I'm sitting there going, the Grinders. These guys are going to put 3 cars into the top 10 of the points going into the chase. They fell apart, but I expect them to bounce back. Then I look at the guys at Spire, Daniel Suarez, Carson Hocevar. In my opinion, both of them have been very consistent this year. The problem with their consistency, it's not top 5 consistency. No. It's more top 10 to top 15 consistency, and both of them have wins, which helps them out big time. Yep. Not to take anything away, because it's very impressive what Spire's done this year. But at the same time, I mean, Chase Briscoe, yeah, he finally climbed up to 14th in the points. But I mean, look, I mean, it took him 14 weeks to get into the top, above the, 13 to get above the cut, and then 14 weeks to get into the 14th spot. And then I look at this battle down at the bottom of the point shake. We have Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace. Do I think Bubba gets into the playoffs? I think he does for sure. But at the same time, with the way that Bubba started the season off, he was second in the points behind Reddick at
he's
and you're sitting there going,
fallen.
he is sunk like a ship. So he's sunk like an anchor in the middle of the ocean. So
I mean,
it's
don't
like,
get me wrong. If you go from William Byron down to him, it's not that big of a gap, but still.
well, that's another driver, right? William Byron. I mean, we are 14 weeks into the season. We have not seen a Byron victory. We have not even seen a Byron domination. We have not seen a Byron granted, he has led laps in this 2026 campaign, but the problem is with William Byron. I'm pulling up the stats right now. Before I get to that topic with laps led, but like we have not seen this. We have not seen the 24 absolutely do what we're expecting him to do. William Byron has led a total of 34 laps in 14 races. His average finish is 16.5. There's weeks that he looks good. There's weeks that he looks bad. Like I said, the top 4 in the points right now, in my opinion, look like they're going to come to title contention. And I would say Gibbs is the first man out. But Gibbs is still somewhat a title contender. The rest of the field is not a title contender, and it is an absolute roller coaster. Absolute roller coaster of a season from every single one of those drivers. That's why, I mean, even in Chastain's case, Jake, I can't even write Chastain off. Chastain can get hot in the middle of the summer stretch, and if he knocks off of a win, he could put himself back into the chase.
He could.
A lot of people were writing Austin Cindric off. We did it in the offseason. I said this system's going to hurt Austin Cindric. Cindric's sitting 16th in the points because he's riding the wave right now. That is it.
Yep.
Let's get to a couple final chats from the Nashville discussion tonight, Jake. Lance, he checks in. Hey, Matt and Jake. Lance here from Spinnerstown, longtime listener, first time commenting. Do you think Bubba has a chance to win it all this year? Well, we just talked about it. I wouldn't say he's a title contender at all. But I think he's a chase contender. I think he's definitely a chase contender. I just don't think no shot at winning a championship this year.
I don't think he wins a race this year either.
It's an interesting question, or that's an interesting statement. And I don't, not that I disagree with you. There's only a few of these races again. Like when I look at his track record, how good of a driver he is at certain tracks coming up. There's only a few of them, in my opinion, that he could actually circle and be like, yep, that could be a Bubba win. And that's Michigan this week. I think that he can have a nice shot at Michigan. The Brickyard, obviously, we can never write them off. Atlanta and Daytona, and I would say probably Richmond.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of my tracks that I circle for Bubba Wallace.
It's just hard for me to pick him when his teammates and his team owner are up there every fucking week, and they're better than him.
And I think that's what a lot of fans are starting to see and starting to ask the question about with Bubba Wallace. Not that we think that Bubba Wallace is a bad driver.
No, I don't.
But I think that a lot of the question at this point is you have Tyler Reddick, who was off to one of the most historical starts in NASCAR in a NASCAR season to start. Then you have your boss, Denny Hamlin, obviously different team. He's sitting there dominating the Toyota. Toyotas have the speed. They have race-winning speed. And for Bubba, for a guy to sit there in top 15, he's going to be around for a while, but it's also kind of like, damn, like when are you going to get it together now?
Yeah.
And here's the other interesting fact. And we saw it this past weekend as they were in Nashville. It was officially announced Corey Heim will be taking over to 35 in 2027. So now you have another driver who is extremely talented. So it could be put up or shut up next year in 2026 or 2027 for Bubba Wallace.
Yep.
All right. Any other topics, conversations that you saw from Nashville? Let's talk. We'll do one driver that surprised you this week, one driver that disappointed you this week. Before we go into our Michigan picks,
I already talked about him, but SVG boom anyway. I mean, I kind of can't not pick him. But my biggest disappointment, I mean, I get he blew a tire, but it's Kyle Larson. I mean, he's going to be my disappointment for a while when he's racing at tracks that he shows the speed, then he ends up finishing fucking 20s.
Yeah.
It's just it's at to the point that you're Hendrick superstar, and you're like the golden child there.
I
And
think Chase Elliott is now. And that's not a knock to Kyle Larson.
no, I mean I think like right now because how good Chase Elliott has been doing this year for sure, but it's like I don't know, they put so much fucking they put so much time like they doing the double, all this other bull crap that he does that Hendrick sponsors him for. It's like and you can't put yourself in victory lane.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to the point now with Kyle Larson. I mean, this winless streak is dragging on now. This winless streak is dragging on. And again, we talked about Bubba Wallace circling tracks. Like, when is he going to get his win? Kyle Larson, I kind of feel like over the next stretch, it's like, when does he get his win? Right? I mean, he won at Michigan early in his career. People are like, well, he was good at Michigan. He was very good at Michigan before before he was in Hendrick. He hasn't won at Michigan in Hendrick Motorsports. Last year he ran out of gas. I get it. But at the same time, like, you still need to finish. You need to finish. You know that Michigan's going to cause a gas tax. You got to get it together. Then I look at Pocono. I look at a track like Pocono. I mean, yeah, he almost had that victory in 2021 when Bowman won the race. But at the same time, like, Larson didn't win. He ended up blew a tire.
Yep.
Then we go to San Diego. I mean, Sonoma may be a track that maybe circled. Chicagoland, I probably will circle, but then like I look at the rest of the season. I mean, you got Atlanta, North Wilkesboro, probably not. And then I look at Indy, and it's like
he's very
good. And so there's a couple tracks that are coming up, but it's also kind of like there's a lot of other good drivers right now in this season that have been extremely consistent. And extremely putting their car in the top 5, top 10 on a weekly basis. And that's where I'm like with Larson, it's like, yeah, the wreckers and checkers mentality is fantastic and all that type of stuff, but it does not fit this system.
No.
So you have SVG and Kyle Larson as your biggest surprise, biggest disappointment. For me, my biggest surprise this week, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse, baby, 4th place. I mean, good for him. Good for Stenhouse. That's a big finish there, and he finished stage 2, third in the finished third in stage 2, so he got points there. My biggest disappointment, and I'm going to continue harping on it, and I know he was involved in a wreck. William Byron.
Yeah.
William Byron. I'm going with Hendrick. I'm going with the Hendrick Motorsports teammate of William Byron. I mean, dude, like you got to start like hitting singles. You got to start getting the car in the top 10, top 5 if you want to be a championship caliber driver, which I think we're so far in the point in the regular season in regards to points. I don't think Byron is a championship caliber driver at this point.
No, not this year.
No. And I think for a lot of these drivers, I think what's going to end up happening, and I think the 2026 offseason, 2027 offseason, like 2026 and the 2027, that offseason is going to be very interesting on how a lot of these teams respond.
Mm-hmm.
New system, new format. They finally got the taste back in their mouth. I'm intrigued on how this offseason is going to apply to all the different teams that have struggled throughout this campaign. Because I want to tell you right now, there's a lot of drivers that are absolutely struggling that should be championship caliber drivers.
Mm-hmm.
One last comment, Blunt Engine chat line. Phil, he chimes in. He goes, I'm shocked they're bumping Herbst because he has the Monster sponsor and that money. Yeah, I mean, I am too. But like as I told people before, Jake, you and I talked about this with the Monster sponsorship. Like, Herbst is an interesting situation just because his dad is, I believe, like the chief financial officer of Monster Energy. So like he has a lot of money going from Monster. The other thing too is like I'm not writing Herbst off out of the cup though.
No.
Yeah, Heim took over that car. He's going to take over that car in 2027. Corey Heim's going to get a lot of good sponsorships. He just is. Robin Hood's going to pretty much most likely primary sponsor him in that car. There's going to be other, like Chubba Casino's a team organization sponsorship. So there's going to be money going around for Heim. But in regards to Herbst, like, I'm not surprised. And I think that when you have a guy like Michael Jordan, who pretty much can call anybody in this country to sponsor a car, I don't think that Monster's that big of a sponsorship for him to be like, I need to keep this guy because we need that Monster money. What I will say though is with Riley Herbst, from what I heard, inside sources keep an eye on Legacy. If they get that third car, he will be in that third car.
Yeah, that's what I
So
heard as well.
yeah, so keep an eye on that news. But that's a whole debacle too that we could discuss at a different time. So okay, that's going to take us to our checker flag on tonight's Nashville discussion. And Jake, before we sign off on tonight, let's do our Michigan Firekeepers Casino 400 picks. First and only time we were at Michigan. Great racetrack, by the way. If you've never been to Michigan, anyone listening to us live, one of my favorite tracks to go see a live race at. It was incredible.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
like watching
fun.
Michigan.
That's a fun. Yeah, I mean, Michigan has turned into one of my favorite tracks. So in the off season, or in the preseason, I should say, you chose Connor Zilic.
We'll be 100% changing that.
You chose Connor Zilic. I chose Ty Gibbs. With your reaction, already know you're changing your pick. Who are you going with this week?
I'm gonna go Brad K.
Brad K.
Then they get over the hump.
That's a good one, and that's a good one. I like Brad Keselowski this week a lot. I mean, I honestly, this is the week if Ford wants to show up, this is the week they show up.
Yeah.
This is a week that they show up because I'll tell you right now, everyone within that Ford organization knows how important Michigan is to that track, right? Henry Ford, all that type of stuff. I mean, Ford's right up in Detroit.
Yep.
This is the Heritage Trophy. This is a big deal for Ford. So Ford. If there's ever a week that they're going to get this shit together, it's going to be this week. I like that pick a lot. Brad Keselowski, you're going with. For me, I'm actually going to stick with Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, I do like that pick.
I picked Gibbs in the offseason. I picked Gibbs in the preseason. Excuse me. I'm going to stick with Ty Gibbs. Reason why, Jake? 5.7 average finish according to driveraverages.com since 2023. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and his average, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s with a 5.7 average finish.
Yeah.
I am sticking with Ty Gibbs. I think that Gibbs has the confidence. That win opened up Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right, driver to watch this week for you.
My driver to watch, I talked about him a lot this week, and it's only because of how he's been doing, and I think he could do pretty good here, but SVG.
Listen, if he's going to be better on the ovals, this is a big test this week.
This
I
is
like
a
that a lot.
big test. I know, I've been talking about him all night, but
rightfully so. 11th place finish at Charlotte, 5th place finish at Nashville. I like this move a lot by you. I do like SVG this week. I think he continues to trend of getting better on ovals. I don't think he wins the race, but he definitely gets close to it. I think he gets top 15.
Yeah.
One to watch for me this week. I'm going to stick with the RFK teammate. I'm going with Chris Buescher.
Okay.
Buescher since 2023, best average finish among active drivers, 3 flat, 1 win, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and an average star of 9.3. Progressively gets better at this track. We talked about it earlier. The Heritage Trophy is definitely important for Ford. If this is the week that Ford wants to wake up, this has got to be the week. I'm going with Buescher as the one to watch. Dark horse.
I'm going with a Ford driver that really want to be a dark horse, but he's not statistically good here. And if you want to do it for Ford, this is the guy who should do it. I'm going to do Ryan Blaney because he's statistically not good here.
He's got the win back in 21. The next
previous I would say recently.
But in the next gen car, you're right. He's nowhere to be found according to our averages at all.
So
dark horse Blaney.
going off of our averages that we have, thanks to driveraverages.com. But yeah, where he sits, and I think he's the guy that needs to do it for Ford.
Yeah. This is the week. Again, we keep talking about load up the Fords this week. My dark horse this week, I'm going Zane Smith. Zane Smith, back-to-back great weeks. He got a top 10 at Nashville last week. According to driveraverages.com, 7 average flat finish in 2 races since 2023. He's only raced there twice. 2 top 10s. 2 top 10s. Do I think that Zane Smith wins this race? No, but I think a top 10 is pretty much icing on the cake at this point, and especially with Ford. Again, Ford is going to show up this week, I promise. And then watch, they all finish like 20. Before we sign off on tonight, let's talk or one end of the chat line. We got Phil chiming in 2 more comments. This will be a fuel mileage race, and I think 4 brains at home. I agree. We hear about it all the time. Latar's going to talk about his gas tax and the burn bar, which I love so much. But he's going to talk about the gas tax and all that type of stuff. I agree. I think Michigan's a gas tax. It's a gas tax type of track, and I think that it's going to come down to strategy this week. And finally, Phil's pick of the week was going to be Blaney or Busher wins Michigan. Yeah, I think
Great picks.
I really think Busher, man. I mean, I think Busher puts that car in victory lane. I mean, that would end a winless streak too.
Yes, I was just about to say that. That would end a winless streak.
Well, I mean, let's call it as is. Annie Ford at this point would end a winless streak.
Yeah, it's true.
Minus Blaney.
Yeah, minus Blaney.
All right, it's going to take us to the checker flag on tonight's episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Nashville, post-Nashville discussion. Appreciate everyone chiming in on the blended chat line, talking to all of you about Nashville Super Speedway and leading you into your Michigan race weekend. If you love what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook Facebook and YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. We live stream. Again, we live stream Wednesday nights unless life gets in the way, Tuesdays, Thursdays as well. We'll post it on our Facebook page when we record each week for your listening viewership. You miss our live episodes. Again, there's another opportunity to listen to us. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. We post our episodes up on those streaming platforms for your listening viewership as well. So if you miss us live, go ahead over to those platforms. Usually by Saturday mornings, they'll be up and posted. So if you want to get yourself, excited for the following week going into into the race weekend, tune into us. So again, and last but not least, follow us on TikTok at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. Our highlight clips of the week will be posted on TikTok for your arguing viewership. So if you want to argue with us. With all of that being said, if you're on to Michigan, enjoy the race weekend. If not, enjoy the race wherever you watch it. It should be a fun one. Gas tax, burn bars, all that type of stuff is going to be on the table tonight or this weekend. Heritage Trophy, all that good stuff. Enjoy your race weekend live at Michigan. We'll be live next week with all of you post-Michigan as we head into Pocono, baby.
Yes, sir.
With all that being said, have a wonderful night, folks. We'll talk to you next week. Good night. Yep.